Kyler Murray has no leverage at all. None.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
He can threaten to walk away, I guess, to make the Cardinals ink a deal. Maybe. But at the same time, I think they would call his bluff, just like any team would probably call the bluff of anybody holding out because of how much money you lose. And I don't see him walking away playing baseball. Who even knows if he could hang? I'm gonna say this: Kyler needs to earn the respect of his teammates, his coaches, and the fan base before we throw a bag at him. And personally, I think and hope that we trade this man away, because there are at least 3 options that weren't on the table before, because upgrading Kyler is difficult. It's not easy to upgrade Kyler because he's still a good quarterback, even if he can't get it done, even if he can't win a championship, even if you know that right now he could maybe develop into that. But we're in a win now mode, and we have an opportunity with quarterbacks that I think would be better fits for the Cardinals, take us the distance, make us a top 2 team in the NFC right away. And Kyler is going to take some time because he's really far away from that kind of player right now. And I don't think we've got the time. We have the roster now in Arizona to win. And if we trade this man for Watson, if we try and attempt to get Aaron Rodgers and a big deal, I know people are going to balk at that and say it's not possible, but you send Kyler Murray and some potential draft capital to Green Bay, that's an attractive offer, probably a better offer than anybody can offer Green Bay, because they're getting a young quarterback back, and they probably don't believe in Jordan Love. They better not believe in Jordan Love. Same thing with Houston, draft capital and Kyler for Deshaun Watson.
Sign me up.
And everybody in Arizona, and I'm dialed in to the Arizona fan base and the local radio stations and the local online papers talking about this constantly. And the Arizona Cardinal fan base and sports radio everywhere has been asking for this for over a year. This same time last year, it was let's get a deal done and get Watson in here. Even with all the risk involved, we'll take it on because we think at least we've got a shot. With Kyler, I don't know that we do. Now, Seattle, I mean, maybe Russell Wilson and some weird disgruntled QB swap, not normal in interdivision, but this is not a normal situation for quarterbacks this year. And Tom Brady, you might laugh at this right now. You might be like,
Smitty's crazy.
Tom Brady wouldn't come back and play for the Arizona Cardinals, but let me remind you of something, and we talked about this on the Quad Box on the Niners show here last night with Dr. Raj, and we talked about this. Tom Brady holds grudges like no other. Tom Brady is flustered at the 49ers for dismissing his talent when he wanted to come to San Francisco. And reportedly, Shanahan said that Tom Brady was only marginally better than Jimmy G. And that's been a big topic for a long time in regards to Shanahan and his quarterback decision making. But that burned Brady. Reports are right now, the most recent Brady coming out of retirement reports have talked about shooting down San Francisco because even though it's his boyhood dream to play there, win a Super Bowl there, he feels slighted and he's upset, and Tom Brady holds grudges. What better way? We talked about this on the Quad Box, and this is coming from a Niner community, okay? What better way than to come back, play in the NFC West, play for the Cardinals, and beat the Niners and Shanahan and rub it in, because that's what Brady does. If he returns, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Again, think about it with the Green Bay example. You offer Kyler Murray and draft capital to the Bucs, who are getting nothing with Brady retired. It's a home run for the Bucs. And if Brady does want to play in Arizona, Kurt Warner wanted to play here. A lot of players love coming to Arizona. Kurt Warner, Hopkins, AJ Green, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson. Yes, some of those guys were already on the decline. I get it. Don't rub it in. But Kurt Warner was in his prime. DeAndre Hopkins is still in his prime. And Tom Brady and DeAndre Hopkins would be scary. Also, 2 years ago, Super Bowl's in Tampa Bay. Who wins it? Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. This past year, Super Bowl was in LA. LA Rams win it. Where's the Super Bowl this coming season? In Arizona. It's quite fitting. Last year, there was no ability to upgrade Kyler Murray. There was nobody on the block. Even Aaron Rodgers was not on the block because Shanahan in San Fran picked up the phone and said, hey.
He said, hey.
Is Aaron Rodgers available? They said,
no, he's not.
Hung up the phone. Niners drafted Trey Lance, which is going to prove to be an amazing move, and a top 5 quarterback will be born Get your popcorn ready. As for Kyler Murray, the Cardinals situation, we didn't have any options last year. Watson, they wouldn't trade him in Houston. Brady wasn't available. A-Rod wasn't available. Right now, there are at least options on the table to upgrade Murray. Don't get me wrong, if we can't get Watson in Arizona, Brady or A-Rod or Russell Wilson, or a dark horse in Tyler Huntley and trading Kyler for a big defensive piece, like one of the biggest additions you can think of, and then think about Tyrod Taylor with that addition. Aside from any of that, Kyler probably won't be moved and the Cardinals will call his bluff. He will come back and play. He will be disgruntled and he'll try and earn our trust so we can maybe think about giving him the bag. But don't think for a second that the Cardinals won't be exploring options to get this guy out of town, given the options I just mentioned, and those options are good. They're all upgrades over Kyler Murray, and the Cardinals would be a top 2 team automatically in the NFC if one of these guys was under center in 2022.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.